Welcome to today's webinar, the subject of which is the key steps to creating compelling content for your social media marketing. Arted wanted me to come into and talk to everybody today just to help with having a general understanding of what is compelling content, what you should post, and how to increase the engagement with your followers so that it helps with all of your social media marketing. So, who am I? Or as I put here, who's the bald-headed bloke? That's a picture of me back when I was in Perth, Australia, working a couple of years ago. So my name, for those of you that don't know me, is Andrew Wallis, and the moniker, the nickname, I guess, that clients have given me is Braveheart, in line with my surname, obviously, but also because, as a coach, as a business coach, and as co-founder of Lifestyle 180 with my business partner, Nikki Segal, we look to give you freedom to live the lives that you wish to lead through systemizing, structuring your business correctly, and having the business work for you so that you can go off and lead and live the life that you wish to. So Lifestyle 180, just for those again who perhaps don't know me, is a marketing consultancy / coaching business that Nikki and I run, and our primary focus is helping fitness businesses get traction with their marketing. So, quick overview, because I want to focus more on the content I'm delivering as opposed to me. But I'm originally from the Isle of Man. I'm Manx. That's my heritage and my nationality. And back on the island, I started out actually in finance, and I worked and had portfolios of investment businesses for the rich and famous. That was great for a time, but I wanted more, having that entrepreneurial spirit. I had a passion for fitness, so started out my business Workout Smarter and ran that from 2004 up until I moved across to Perth, Australia, 2011, where I joined a company Fit for Profit, running their boot camps, and then transitioned into being a business coach before their business was bought by an American firm, NPE, that some of you may or may not know. After that, I moved back to the UK to build a team of coaches, which I did, where we built up to a team of 9. And in that time, one of those coaches was my now business partner, Nikki. And we looked at things, we looked at dealing with that itch that needed to be scratched, which was ultimately, being in control of our own destiny. So we decided, because we had similar passions, interests, and vision, to launch Lifestyle 180, which is our consultancy company. Since then, what we've also done and about to launch is our brand new product, the Fitness Business Development Academy. And you'll get to hear more about that, no doubt, in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. Anyway, less about me, more about you. So what are we going to cover today? Well, first off, I want to start by looking at the content marketing mistakes that a number of fitness professionals make. We need to start out by looking at who, why, what. First of all, who are you creating content for? We don't want to blindly go about just throwing stuff up there for the purpose of, crikey, I haven't posted anything for the last few days, weeks or months, so let me just throw anything up there. We need to be clear, we need to have a plan, and we need to focus who we're creating that content for. But also, above and beyond that, why are you creating content? What's the end game in mind? We're all busy these days. A lot of you, in fact, probably most of you, are still training clients on a day-to-day basis. So, we've got to make a good use of the time that you have available, and you don't want to be wasting time creating content if there's no rhyme or reason for doing so. Also want to cover what is content, or what I deem to be relevant content in the fitness industry, before moving on to why it matters. We'll then look at giving you some examples of what content you should post, give you an outline of when you should post, because that can be important, because again, we don't want to invest significant time into creating posts only for nobody to see it, and there's nothing worse than that. Then, of course, with anything, we want to be able to track and measure, so we'll be looking at how to know what's working. Then I'll give you some examples of what to do to schedule content. So rather than having to do it each and every day, we can block time to do it, or ideally down the line, outsource or delegate this work to an admin or a virtual assistant. And then I want to cover the basics, obviously with using a Facebook ads agency. They generally look after your advertising, but I just wanted to give you the basic and show you how you can boost posts for more visibility. So quite a bit to get through, but hopefully you'll see that we've got a good overview of the whole process outlined. So let's move into part one, which was, as you might recall, content marketing mistakes. So in specific terms, I want to look at the 7 marketing mistakes most businesses are making right now. And that is not just in the fitness industry, it's across the board. But I figure that if we can see the mistakes that are made, then we can hopefully avoid them. So, mistake number 1, people aren't going to read your content if it's not exciting, if it's not engaging, it's not on subjects that they're interested in. So, that's a big mistake I see a lot of people make. And again, it comes down to poor planning. They're rushed. They just want to throw something up and it doesn't hit the mark. It's ultimately not going to be well received. Mistake number 2 is that perhaps it's not useful, because again, people are time poor these days. They're scrolling through their Facebook feeds, for example. They're looking primarily at what their friends or family members are up to, or looking for something funny. They're not looking firsthand at something that will address a particular problem or issue. Now, content as related to what will appear in Google search rankings or on a blog post or website, then those people searching in those areas are looking for something that will solve a problem or answer a question. So again, if your content isn't useful or on point, then it's not going to get a great reception. Big problem is mistake number 3. As business owners, and hey, I hold my hand up, and I'm holding my hand up now, I've made this mistake more than once. We're excited to sell the processes, the services, the products that we have. We're knowledgeable, and we want to sell that knowledge to an individual, be it just through communication, through talking, or actually them investing into the program. But the world has changed. People are sick of being sold to. So we have to give value first. We have to educate them and build some form of relationship with them, a form of trust. So ideally, don't be selling or even mentioning any your business or anything until the end of the article or video. Remember, your goal is to have people share your content to help you or your client look like an expert who gets paid to perform. related services or sales related products. Okay, mistake number 4 is at times, don't talk about something or cover a subject that you're not confident on. You need to know what you're talking about, particularly if you're on a podcast or you're on a video, because you're going to be quickly found out and your reputation will be shot to pieces before you've even had a chance to prove your worth. So make sure you're knowledgeable on the subject that you're talking about. Mistake number 5 is that you don't know what you want the content to achieve. Again, it comes back to it like anything. We need to have an action plan. We need to have an idea of what we're looking to do. Plans are incredibly important, as I'm sure you know. And of course, not only should it be a plan, it should follow the SMART goals that we, of course, as fitness professionals, we set our clients when we're creating their programs. But at times as business owners, we tend to forget when we're putting plans together. Mistake number 6 is not making your content evergreen. And what I mean by that, by that term evergreen, is that rather than having it, well, certainly the majority of your content time specific, look to make it of value not only today, but any time in the future that somebody finds that content. Certainly for blog posts, it can take up to certainly 3 to 6 months for a page to get indexed on Google. And if it's relevant to a particular period of time, it could be out of date before it becomes found in the search engine results. So just make sure that it's something that is relevant now and can be relevant in 1, maybe 2 years' time. So I pulled this slide here to show 5 reasons why we should consider publishing evergreen content. Reason being, of course, as I said, there's a time lag for it to get indexed. But once it is indexed, it's going to be a traffic generator, driving traffic on a constant basis to your website, provided that you're using a compelling headline. Remember, headlines are important. They're going to attract the attention of the person searching for a particular problem or issue. Also, because, and again, consistency will come into play here. If you're consistently blogging on let's say once a week, then you're going to have, over the course of a year, 52 separate articles, each indexed, each ranking independently. So 52 more opportunities for somebody to find out about you, find out about your business, and drive them to your website. It also connects on a deeper level because we can repurpose, reshare this whatever content we create via various different social media platforms. Facebook is a great platform to post an extract of your blog post with a link then back to your website. It's important in this day and age and going forward that we look to build our own personal brand and our business brand. Now, yes, I agree, we don't have the budgets of Amazon or Nike or Adidas, but there are so many opportunities out there now for us to establish ourselves as an industry leader. You look 3 years ago, nobody knew who Joe Wicks was, or the term body coach, but now certainly in the UK he's everywhere. In Australia, a number of years ago, no one would have known who Michelle Bridges was, but now she's seen as an industry leader. Are these people any better trainers than any of you guys? In my view, absolutely not. But through consistency and over time, following a proven system and approach, they've found their niche and they've established their brand as an industry leader. There's no reason why you can't too. With the sole purpose of being found and driving prospects into your sales funnel. Mistake number 7 of 7 is the content isn't ideal for your audience. So when creating it, always be clear on who your audience is. If you have a good understanding and can target your audience, then you're certainly well on the way to having a successful content marketing campaign. So before I start going into good content in further detail, let's move into part 2 of who are you creating your content for. Now, hopefully you've heard the term client avatar. Basically, it's having that clear picture of who your target audience is/are. Now, a common question I get asked, or a common, roadblock that we face when working with clients is to say, well, I deal with more than one avatar. That's absolutely fine. But what we want to be clear on is that, we can't, let's say, for example, you're a PT and you're working with both men and women, and you look at your current client base and they range from in their early 20s through to, let's say, their early 70s. If you're trying to market to those individuals, or you're trying to create content for them, then it's difficult to be specific to them when you're looking at them as a large group. But if you zero in on a particular segment of your client base, let's say, for example, men 25 to 30, then you'll be able to understand the problems, the issues, the challenges, what they're looking to achieve, what their goals are, in much more specific terms, because a 25 to 35-year-old man or woman is going to have significantly different aspirations, goals, or challenges than a 65 to 70-year-old man or woman. So we start out by defining your avatar. And what we do initially is listing out their demographic and psychographic traits. What I generally do, and certainly when working with clients, is we'll brain dump as much information as we can think of on that side of things. I always like to, and the way I used to do this was certainly when I had a client base, I looked at the types of clients that I enjoy working with. I got a clear image in my mind against each of the different avatars that I wanted to focus on, and I would give them a name, and then I would find a photo online, and then I had that vision clearly in front of me. And as I've put on the slide here, there's various websites you can get avatar builders from, or grabbing faces online. You can even go to Google Images, I guess, and search for women or woman age 35 and find one which resonates with you as a potential client. When you've got that photo in front of you, we've got a cartoon avatar here, we're able to start building out their traits. From there, we can design a dossier. Now, I'm going to be following up from this webinar with sending out an email to each and every one of you with some tools. Copy this slide deck, for example, plus some client avatar building tools, workbooks to help you. But hey, look, you can create your own, and it doesn't have to be fancy. You can do it with a plain old pen and paper or a Word document. Now, ideally, I suggest writing the story as your ideal customer avatar. Imagine that you're them and journal about the challenges they face and the goals they wish to achieve. Now, think questions like, what did they do before using your services? What were they thinking? What goals are they looking to attract? What are they looking to accomplish? And in time, you'll be able to build out a card or a document which has their image on, like here as Adam Avatar. Will have an idea of his chosen career path, what industry he's in, where he lives, his age, and so on and so forth. And we can build out then a few paragraphs about where he lives, what he does, how much he earns, his hobbies, his pastimes. That he's looking for a partner or whatever, or in this instance he's married with 4 kids, and so on and so forth. So we're able to build out a clear overview of that particular person. So when it comes to writing content or even any marketing you do, you can review these and you'll have a much better chance of getting your marketing on point and totally relevant. So why are you creating content? Now, I found this online, and I think it's important for us to visualize, because we often, this is your strategy funnel, and we should start at the very top and work our way down to the bottom. But more often than not, we start with, we come from a place of need generally. I need clients now, and then we start thinking tactically. But we need to start at the very top and think, why do we set up our business? What's our purpose? What's our vision? Not only for your business, because your business was set up to provide revenues to allow you to lead the life that you want to lead. And if you're clear of the vision that you want for yourself and how the business plays its part in that, then we're able then to work our way down. Well, what's the business goals? Then looking at your department within your business, you've got your training department, you've got your marketing department, sales department. Now, it might be a department of 1 and you were the sole owner, sole practitioner, sole technician within the business, so you wear each of those hats. But no matter what's the size of any business, it has defined departments: sales, marketing, operations, finance, and so on. From then we look at, in relation to marketing, we'll be doing external marketing, in that we'll be networking, building strategic alliances with local businesses and so on and so forth. But then we also have social media, because that plays such an important role in branding, in building awareness, in promotion, and obviously in marketing. That then leads into the tactics that we're going to employ, be it content creation, be it Facebook advertising, or be it YouTube videos, or so on and so forth. And then we drill down into the bottom of the funnel here, which is we then track and measure, as we should do in all areas of our business, in that we're looking at what's working, how can it be improved, how can it bring the return on investment that we're after. I just have a quick drink of my tea, and we move into part 4. So what is content? So what I've done now is I'm just outlining and I've pulled some examples from some of our clients that we work with, and also some good pieces I found on the net, on Facebook, primarily to show you. So it could be, content could be just a plain text status update, as the one on the left, or it could be, and certainly should be in this example from Mark's page, Mark Fisher Fitness, where he's giving a link there and promoting his latest blog post. And that's a great way of generating leads. And the important thing about having your blog posts promoted or featured in social media such as Facebook, as in this example, is that you don't have you'll have X amount of likes to your Facebook page, but you don't know you can't readily connect with those individuals. It's changing somewhat now as we have Facebook Messenger bots coming into play, but we want to be able to encourage people to move away from the Facebook platform to come to your home page, your home, which is generally your website, which gives you the opportunity to collect their contact details, their name, their email address, and potentially their phone number, so you can add them to your CRM, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, Aweber, so on and so forth, so that then you can communicate with them via email, build a rapport, build that relationship, make specific offers to that individual. It could be images or photos, and James from Unique Results does a great job on social media to do just that, and he regularly features photos and videos, and in this one having one of his members of his month. One on the right is videos or Facebook Live, and Jason does a fantastic job of this. He's had a couple of professionally produced videos done, and this is one of them that were featured here, and you can see that on this particular one at the time of me taking the screenshot, he 5,700 views and had reached 13,500 people. And I know, because obviously we work with Jason on that one has picked him up a number of clients, which ultimately, that's what we're looking for. What's the return on investment? Why are we doing this? And he is clear on the individuals that he wants to attract to his business. You might look to have giveaways, contests, or quizzes, and they're a great initial content idea, particularly for a cold audience, for those individuals who may not know who you are yet. They may not even know that they have a particular problem that needs resolving, and when they realize that, and they become solution focused, because you've gone out and perhaps put together a fitness quiz, and the follow-up to that is offering them to have a free chat or free consult or a free trial, then you're positioning yourself to be their preferred provider of choice when they do realize that they're looking for a potential solution. Another good one for a cold audience and an initial introduction to your services are free guides, ebooks, and downloads, and Becky does a fantastic job of doing that. In this example, she put together 10 recipes, which a number of them, not tried all 10, but they are very tasty recipes. Other ideas, and I featured a bit there with Jason, was a native video on Facebook Live, primarily because they get uploaded directly to Facebook, and they get Facebook is keen to become much more visual and to have more video content. So they give priority to video, and even more so to Facebook Live. And when we think that 8 billion daily views are on Facebook video, and that has grown 100% in 6 months, that's huge. 85% of Facebook videos are viewed without sound, but of course that's why you'll start to see more people put captions and calls to action on their videos, encouraging people to click to listen and to watch them. I understand, or I've heard that they will be running them automatically and having they're considering having the sound come on as soon as you scroll across it, but I'm not sure if and when that comes into play. But videos have increased 360% across everybody's news feeds. I'm sure you've noticed that yourself when you scroll through your Facebook news feed. Bonus, when you upload your videos directly to Facebook, the result is that they will reward you with that, with a greater reach, higher visibility, and because you're reaching more people, there's a much greater likelihood, but greater likelihood of engagement. And that's what we're ultimately looking to do with all content that we create. There's other tools and software out there as well, which you'll probably notice when you go through your own news feeds that a number of business owners are using animated text overlay videos. I've tested Ripple myself. It's very easy to use. It's on your phone. I've got an Apple. I've got an iPhone, and I can download it. There'll be an Android version as well. I'm pretty sure, but it pulls together photos, images, and you can also upload your own images into it, such as a motivational quote created, let's say in Canva, but then Ripple allows you to make add music to it, or you can put together a series of photos which will play as a video through it. And Adobe Spark, and I'm sure others, do much the same. Another good idea is looking at word searches. These old school type things are making an appearance in Facebook now, but whenever people see them and there's a call to action in there, like find a particular word, or what word do you see first, then people like to share those types of things. And you can, if you do a Google search for word search maker, you'll be able to create your own. Much like the animated text, there's also animated GIFs, and Giphy.com and other tools will help you do them. And big one for us and our clients are inspirational quotes. We put together quotes. Recently we did Mike Tyson, we've done Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, and that. So we'll have a photo of them, we'll find one of their quotes, we'll add that quote to the photo using a tool like Canva, brand it with your logo, your brand on there, and they as the quote here says, that they account for 93% of the most engaging posts on Facebook. They receive 53% more likes, and 104% more comments, and 84% more click-throughs than just text posts. Text is old school now, so let's make it as visually appealing as we can. Doing that, you're going to have a much greater success rate. Make them laugh quotes and images. When we're scrolling through, think about what stops you in your tracks. What type of content. Have a think. Why did that stop me? Did I like it? Did I comment on it? Did I share it? Can you recreate that, or can you use that idea to create your own content? Because if you found it interesting, then of course many more people, and particularly your client base or your audience, is going to like that as well. Relatable quotes are good. They do extremely well. Add a human side to your brand. A relatable quote, for example, might be having something like what one we used to good effect was, imagine this was, who would like this as their office, and it was a desk underneath a palm tree on a tropical island, or it might be a picture of somebody tired and needing a cup of coffee, and say, I can't start the day without my coffee. Things that you'll find relatable. Personal quote put my teeth in. Personal quote tiles even. I see Gary Vee doing these a lot, Brendan Bouchard, and you can easily create your own, and using a photo of yourself and a quote that you've used, and to enable you to brand yourself. Or, as I said, like earlier on, you can find these guys and create your own branded quote tiles based on their quotes, but with your logo on. And of course, sharing your expertise. Look, you're all experts in the health and fitness industry, so think about questions that clients ask you, or the problems that clients face, and create content around that, be it video, be it text, be it through an infographic that you can create easily using, again, someone like Canva will work extremely well in those instances. So why does content matter? Reason number one is 40% of time spent on Facebook is in the news feed, and only 12% is spent on pages and profiles. If I think about the time I spend on Facebook, it's straight to the this is when I'm not working on agency work, but when I'm on my downtime, it's scrolling through my newsfeed and checking, seeing what friends or what appears in my newsfeed, and then sharing, commenting, and so on. If you create compelling content, it's going to get you in the newsfeed of those people that you want to attract. Now, Facebook's been around a little while now, and you've probably been a Facebook user for a little amount of time. So, a long period of time. Sorry. So try and think back on why you originally signed up, because the reason being that that's the reason that a number of the people that potentially you'll be reaching is reached. And if we can provide content that we know is going to appeal to them, then there's a much better chance that you're going to reach out to them and you're going to get engagement from them. So people use Facebook to connect with their friends, their family, to get educated, be entertained, kill time, etc. And content is going to be your medium on how you're going to do that with your audience. Some other reasons why sharing content is going to help you as a business: helps you stay top of mind. If and when they realize that they're looking for a potential solution, or if they're talking with a friend who tells them that they're in need of a personal trainer, or they need to get into shape, or they need some rehab, then if you're creating good content that gets seen, you're going to be top of mind when they're talking to that person, or they realize that they're looking for a solution themselves. Also helps keep you in mind with future clients who are maybe at this moment in time on the fence. Maybe we've not done enough to build that rapport, build that trust, for them to raise their hand and say, hey Jason, I'm interested in becoming a client. Can you tell me more? Helps you become an influencer in the industry. Each of the influencers within the industry these days, they all started from the bottom. They weren't known. They were in the same shoes as perhaps you are now, but through consistency, through trial and effort, and putting the hard yards in, over time, they've risen to the top. You can do the same. The key with it all is making sure we provide value on a daily basis. So, what content should you post? Before we look at that, let's look at having the right mindset when you're considering what you need to post. I've got a quote here, I guess as an example of using a quote that you could put up if it was branded, but it's from Craig Davis, and he's the Chief Creative Officer of J. Walker Thompson, who are the world's fourth largest creative agency. And the quote said, "Audiences everywhere are tough. They don't have time to be bored or browbeaten by orthodox, old-fashioned advertising. We need to stop interrupting what people are interested in and be what people are interested in. So you become the news. At this moment in time, we're still very much interrupting them. But if we become the talking point, and that's only through consistency and being on point and in context with the discussions, then we're going to have much greater success rate." You may or may not know Amy Porterfield. She's a prominent Facebook marketing expert, and the quote I pulled from her is, "You have to make sure you're not writing content for you, but for your ideal audience, that avatar. It has to be entertaining, educating, or empowering." There's an acronym, EDI, EDIE. That is educate, demonstrate your expertise, inform, or entertain. So if we keep those in mind when creating content, you won't go far wrong. As always, we should follow the 80-20 rule. In this instance, 80% of the content you create should be about your audience, and only 20% of your content should be about your business. Nicky, my business partner, when he's creating content, and he uses as an example when he is writing email sequences, he does, the term he uses is foretell, one sell. And so that foretell is, let's say that you've got 5 emails, four of those 5 in the sequence should be informative, educational, giving value, and only one of them, the 20%, that's the sales pitch, notifying, informing the prospect of the particular service that you're promoting at that particular time. But the 80-20, 80% about them, 20% about you and your business. And as I keep telling clients, look, it's an experiment. There's no one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's no one right way. And what works for one person doesn't work for another. So it's, if you can have that experimental mindset, test, track and measure, then that's going to set you in good stead. So I found this online, this simple posting schedule, but it's important. Look, this is an example. Again, it's not set in stone, but it's just to give you an idea of having a framework to follow. The key is to creating your own schedule and then sticking to it. It helps with consistency, and it helps you formulate a plan of action, a plan of attack, so that you're not stumbling around thinking, oh crikey, what am I going to post now, and end up trying to throw anything up there hoping something will stick. So this example's laid out over the 7 days, and it gives a theme for each day, an example there alongside that as well. And you'll get a copy of this as a thank you for attending the session today, so you'll be able to refer back to this. Moving on from that, I've just put together some ideas myself and some examples that we've used or our clients have used on pages. So Sunday, I'll put here big ideas. So share some expert advice or perhaps a short quote. So I've got Peter's Mojo Strength quote there, which was a great little quote. I've shared one that we've done ourselves with, I mentioned Steve Jobs earlier. We'd found his quote, so we added it to an image we sourced and gave our branding overlay on there in the bottom left-hand corner. And then KFM supplement company, I showed that they were giving an infographic there on how to learn to run with good form, with good technique. Monday, I know a lot of people do Friday funnies. So again, as I say, the structure is entirely up to you. But Monday I've picked here is the humour is the theme. So we've pulled out a couple of quotes we've used. And again, the ones I've shown here are, look, these aren't health and fitness specific. And Facebook isn't looking at that. It's not looking to see how specific you are. It's looking how engaging your content is. And the Smile It's Friday on Steve's site, on the Healthy Glow there on the left, that everybody loves. Lots of people love dogs, so they generally, those memes do extremely well. And of course, the one on the right, although it's not entirely health and fitness related, it is in context. So again, it's bringing a smile to my face now. So they're good to get engagement as well, because as people start sharing it and it spreads virally, they see that that it was your business name appears there as being the originator. Wednesday example I've got here is I've termed current news. So look to share positive news. There's enough negativity in the world today, so let's not be adding fuel to the fire there. So look for positivity where we can. I find positive pieces perform particularly well in this day and age. So look for that positive news. And so we've got one there on about Pepsi finally getting rid of aspartame from Diet Pepsi. And on the right is just an example where you can find what's trending in the news feed. A great source of inspiration there is seeing how you can piggyback off trending news topics, because if you do that right, then Facebook will reward you for that and will give you greater reach. So Thursday example here, I've got giving back. So I've featured customers, launch shares, giveaways, or maybe a coupon or a discount that you can look to offer. So 2 examples there of those sorts of topics that you can look to use. Friday, people love stories. They love to learn more about you, about your clients, about your team and that. So if you've got photos and you can put a bit of a story around that, then they can work particularly well. Saturday, as part, if you think of the EDIE principle, the EDIE, part of that is education. So how can we tell people about your product, what it can do or teach, or you can teach people how to use it yet, or share educational content. And I've got 3 examples there across the board that we can use. One is the one we've done with Scott. One's with Strength Matters, who we know James and his team. And again, we've got one from Peter there showing his journey that he's gone through in recertifying for his Strong First cert. He did a week by week blog update, which was received really well. As I say, stories sell. People love stories. Bonus tip: make sure that we when you're sharing links, particularly this comes into account if you're curating content, so it's not original content, but it's content you found online which you believe your clients or viewers will be interested in, you can cut and paste that into Facebook as the example shows here, but make sure you delete, as it says on the left there, the URL from that, but leave the image in there. But if you don't like that particular image as it shows there below the image, you can actually upload one yourself if needs be. But yeah, just a rule of thumb is to delete that URL from the status field. Makes them look much more professional. Another bonus tip, having calls to action in your pieces. So I've pulled one here which I thought was particularly well done by Amy Porterfield. My tips: make it specific, keep it simple. A huge fan of keeping things simple. Just making sure, don't confuse people, just have one call to action per post. And make sure it's placed towards the end of the post. That's generally the best place for a call to action. So make it immediately apparent what you want that person to do. So in the example there on the right, Amy's wanting people to listen to her podcast, so she put click here to listen. Again, another bonus tip, keep it short. People were time poor, so they don't want to be reading oodles and oodles and oodles of text. So the rule of thumb, and I say general because, hey, nothing's set in stone, keep your posts between 100 and 250 characters, because the data shows that 60% more likes when you do that. 60% more likes, comments and shares than posts that are over 250 characters. So, it's always good to review what the stats say and follow them as closely as you can. Okay, part 7 and 8 covers when to post and how to know what's working. So I like to use Facebook Insights. So we'll just nip out of the presentation a second. I've got a page set up here. Actually, it's on Jason's page here. So if we go into Insights, let it open up. Gives you a page summary. It gives you your details. But if we go to reach, you can see how you're getting on. If I come to the overview and scroll down, so you went to the wrong place, it's on posts, and then click on reach, let it formulate and scroll up. We can see how well particular posts are doing. We can see, unsurprisingly, that the two professionally produced videos that Jason had done have produced the greatest reach and the greatest engagement. We can also see below that in descending order what reach and what engagement you get on the posts you do, because the reason I'm showing you this is that look at what's working and what's generated the most engagement, because that dictates, well, certainly in my eyes, what we should look at doing more of. And then scrolling down and resetting it reach for pieces that have had the lowest reach. Perhaps they're the ones that we should avoid doing again, or perhaps not doing them as often. So that gives you a bit of an insight. And unsurprisingly, the pieces which have been boosted have performed the best. So boosting a post is key, and you can do that in any number of ways, but certainly within the insights you're able to boost there. Looks like Perry's gone live on his Facebook Live. So look, Facebook Live, as I said, a great strategy for creating content. Okay, let me dive back into presentation again. So pulled up just the pieces here which I showed you, but I wanted to go in live to show you where you got them. But if you go into Insights and then you click on Posts, that'll take you to those elements. Okay, so how do you schedule posts? Because as I say, rather than doing it on a day-by-day basis, I choose to pick a particular time in my week when I'm going to work on content. Also delegate it to Dee, our amazing ops manager and social media manager, to work on our within the agency side of things. But there's a number of ways that you can schedule posts. One is that you can do it directly within Facebook. So when you're in the actual going to post something, rather than hitting publish, you can hit schedule, which is shown in the left-hand pane side, and then you can actually select the date and time that you want that post to be scheduled, and then you would click the blue schedule button as showing on the right hand side of the page here. There are tools that you can use. Our tool of choice is Hootsuite, and that's who we use for our various clients, and we can schedule the pages. We can review any messages and respond to messages directly within that platform, and we can oversee not only ours but the agency files as well. Other options, slightly more expensive than Hootsuite, is CoSchedule. That I would suggest would be my tool of choice, and we're considering looking at that ourselves down the line. It's a great platform. I know a number of guys like and use meetedgar.com, but also Post Planner is a great little tool as well. What I particularly like about Post Planner is that it allows you to search and find content which is already popular within the industry. And if you want some examples of that, or you want a link to try out Post Planner, give me a shout at Andrew at lifestyle180.co.uk, and I'll give you a link to try that out for free. Part 10, as we come towards the end, is boosting posts for more visibility. Now, obviously within Facebook advertising, there's a number of options within advertising, but I love to get boosting posts where I can. If it's on point, if it's relevant, it's cheap, and for a video to a specific audience, or publicity, building awareness of your latest blog post, then it's a great strategy to use, and you can do it for say $5, £5 or whatever, or you can set the budget to whatever you like, but you can direct that to a specific audience that you build. You're going to get some fantastic engagement. I've got a case study here. I shared it a little earlier, and he's just pinged me actually now, so he must know we're talking about him. Jason Elliott with PT Whittle. He added this again, it was a professional video to his news feed, generated 176 views at the time, organically. We boosted it for £15 to a targeted audience within a 3-mile radius, and it generated 13,000 views, 5,700, reached 13,000 audience, was viewed over 5,700 times. It had 57, as you see down at the bottom, engaged viewers and 17 shares. And it generated 2 new clients in 1 week from that boosted post. So two new clients from a £15 spend. Hey, not bad. Plus, he had 2 more in the pipeline, which I understand each of them signed up as well. If you found this interesting and you're looking for further resources, a book I wholeheartedly recommend is by Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, 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 Right Hook. But also for content ideas, I mentioned Post Planner earlier, but look at buzzsumo.com, and also a tool of choice that we like to use for creating visual pieces is canva.com, which is a free tool They have a paid version, but there's a heck of a lot you can do with the free version. So here's a bit of homework for you. Start out, if you think right back to the start, make sure you know who your audience is. So create that client avatar. From there, using the guide, the ideas that I gave you, build your own content creation plan. Create and schedule 7 days worth of posts. Shout if you need help. You can get me on andrew@lifestyle180.co.uk, and then rinse and repeat. Certainly number 2 and number 3 there. So thanks for watching. Hope you've learned something new. Hope it's been of value. And there's my contact details if you need to get hold of me. We've got our website, lifestyle180.co.uk. My email, andrew@lifestyle180.co.uk. Or you can check us out on Facebook at Lifestyle180 Program. Thanks for listening today. It's been a pleasure to go through this with you. Take care, and we'll see you soon.